Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In case you are landing here for the first time, my name is Samrat Priyadarshi. I'm a cloud engineer at Google, and I basically talk about everything related to cloud, DevOps, site reliability. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the most important 8 skills that every cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, site reliability engineer should have in their kitty. Now, as we all know, this is a fast-pacing world, especially the DevOps space, because I think every week there will be some new tools coming out, some new features coming out to the existing tools. So it's very important to keep yourselves up to date as well. But this is a very high-level video where I'll just talk about the 8 most important skills that a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer or site reliability engineer should have. And and in the description you will also see the links of some of the skills that I talk about. So yeah, don't forget to check the description as well, because I have I've sorted out the some of the best courses that personally I also have seen or followed to develop these skills as well. And some of those videos I have watched multiple times because they are so good and keeps me refreshed with the concepts, etc. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about the non-technical skills like collaboration, communication across teams, etc., because those are also very important for a DevOps engineer. But I'm going to talk about the technical skills which a DevOps engineer should have. So yeah, starting with the first and foremost, everyone should be able to guess it. It's cloud, right? So no matter whether it's Google Cloud, it's Azure or AWS, you should know at least one cloud. Now I'll be a little biased because as you can understand, I'll recommend Google Cloud because that's the best cloud out there. And so I believe if you do the professional cloud architect certification, which Google Cloud offers, I think you'll be pretty set in terms of the cloud, right? Because you'll be able to cover all the fundamentals like identity access management. You'll be able to cover basics of virtual private cloud, basics of a little bit of security. Then you will be able to cover a little bit about compute, databases, storage, etc. So that's the one thing. Now that is out of the way. Let's focus on the next 7. Now, the second most important skill to have is a version control system skill. I would recommend Git. It's a distributed version control system, and particularly GitHub, which implements Git. So you can start with that because everyone should be able to know how to commit the code, clone it, fork it, etc. I can maybe link a cheat sheet in the description as well. But yeah, I've linked to a good course where you can just get started with Git or GitHub, right? So GitHub also has a lot of other cool features like GitHub Actions, etc., which helps in the CI/CD aspect, but I'll not talk about that, but it's a good one as well. Now, the third and most important skill for a DevOps engineer is Kubernetes. Earlier, there was some debate whether Kubernetes is here to stay or Docker is here to stay or not, but I think it is here to stay. I think future of infrastructure is Kubernetes, right? So that's one of the other important skill to have. Being a site reliability engineer, DevOps engineer, or cloud engineer, you just can't think of not knowing Kubernetes because everywhere it is nowadays, it is there, right? So no matter what software, what application you are developing, or the application developers are developing, they are developing by keeping all the Kubernetes related goodies in the application, right? So that's a must know as well. You don't have to know all the internals nowadays because everything is managed for you, right? GKE, Google Kubernetes Engine, is one of the managed offerings from Google Cloud. So I think that's pretty good. You can get started there. So you don't have to worry about learning the entire architecture, but I strongly recommend learning the architecture of Kubernetes as well. Now, if you do a certification, Certified Kubernetes Application Developer, CCAD, or CK, Certified Kubernetes Architect, that would cover, I think, all the basics as well, because those are pretty good exams, hands-on exams, right? So that's the third thing. Now, the fourth thing which goes in hand in hand is Linux. you can't just keep Linux out, right? No matter whether you do Kubernetes, Git, everywhere you will have to use the terminal. So you have to know at least the basic commands: list, copy, move. Uh, these are very basic commands, but yeah, all the other basic commands: curl, wget, apt, yum if it is Red Hat or CentOS. But yeah, there's a cheat sheet as well, which I'll link in the description. But yeah, there's a good course I've linked in the description, which you can watch to get the basics rights of Linux, because as I mentioned, you can't just leave Linux out, right? Because it's so important skill to have. Now, the fifth one is scripting. I will recommend Python because that's what I do, but it can be any language. It can be maybe Bash scripting. You can script maybe Node.js, etc. But scripting is very important to automate the tasks, right? Because as a DevOps engineer, one of the things that we do is just find all the things which are manual today or which are taking or consuming a lot of time, just automate those so that we can focus on most important tasks. So that is also very important. And I'm not saying you have to be a software development like coding. That's why I use the term scripting. You have to know at least the basics, the functions, list comprehensions, some of the data structures, maybe linked list or the trees, but not too much, right? Not the application development or software developer related coding, but still a little bit is very important, because at the end of the day, it's all about applications, right? So when a developer deploys anything to the infrastructure, and if there is any issues, you should also be able to know where exactly or what the error trace is, so that you can look into the app code and see where the issues are. So that's very handy. At least the readability also should be there. Okay, now the sixth skill is infrastructure as code. We don't do manual deployments or manual infrastructure deployments anymore. We have a good tool, Terraform, that we use. Now there are other tools out there as well, like Pulumi, which uses coding languages like Python, JavaScript, etc. to deploy the infrastructure. But Terraform is the most used out there. So infrastructure as code as a skill is also very important. The next one is system design basics, right? So you should know a little bit about CDNs, you should know a little bit about caches, Redis, etc., how DNS works, how proxies work, how to increase the performance of the database, etc. Right? Because as I mentioned, it's all about applications. So you should know how, at the end of the day, or what components the application uses. And because in case of any failure or bottleneck, you should be able to have that holistic view and able to gauge where exactly the problem might be. Because one thing which site reliability engineers or cloud engineers or DevOps engineers, they do is troubleshoot, right? That's one of the major part of their day-to-day job as well. And these basics of system design will help a lot. Now, the final skill, it's new in the market, which is a basic of Gen AI skill. Because I was watching something, and there was a very important line in that video which I liked a lot, which is DevOps engineer who know Gen AI skill will be much more sought out than the DevOps engineer who don't know Gen AI skills, right? So that's why learn the basics. What are LLMs? How to do a job effectively, because gone are the days where you start from scratch, right? So that's where these new tools like Gemini, all these come and help you giving you that jump start, and you can treat them as your companion wherever you get stuck, etc. So that's also very important, because personally, when I use it, like, they are very handy, trust me. So I've in the description I've linked to a very basic Gen AI course from deeplearning.ai. So look at that and then build on top of that, right? So these are the top 8 skills that I believe everyone should have. Now there are other skills as well, but these 8 are the most important ones. Now you can say, okay, there are databases, You should know SQL. Yes, you should. But for getting started, you should have these skills, and you can then develop all those skills from by doing on-the-job learning, etc. But these are the essential skills which no one can deny. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, share it with your friends, like it, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel as well. Until next time, you get to live, make the most out of it. Thank you.